You are in the zone of Hanging with the Hazes Unscripted. Welcome to Hanging with the Hazes. This is the unscripted version of our show where we deal with subjects that are a little bit taboo that some don't want to deal with. Nevertheless, today we are going to talk a little bit about the reason why Generation X and younger do not subscribe to groups and large outfits. And I know that this is going to ruffle some feathers, and I unfortunately have no choice but to do that because if you want Gen X and their children to hang out with you as a group, understand how we think. And I'm going to explain why we do what we do. And at the end of this conversation, you are going to understand where our loyalty lies when it comes to the dollar that we spend. And we'll talk more about that. So let's get this party started by saying millennials, Generation X, and Generation Y, who will be coming along soon, value their dollar. And if we're going to give it to you, you have to give us something back in return, or we simply will keep it in our pocket. Let's take a minute and talk about who Generation X is. So we are talking about those folks born between the mid 60s. So I'm going to say from about 1966 up to 1979. Now, a lot of times they refer to us as the middle child generation because we come between baby boomers and your millennials. Now, we are also known as the MTV generation or the latchkey generation because, let's just face it, we were that generation at fourth and fifth grade. We were given a key to the house and you knew that you were supposed to go home after school, lock that door, don't open the door for nobody, don't have nobody in mama's house. For God's sake, don't touch their stove, and you better have your homework started by the time mama got home. That's us. We were also known as the forgotten generation. We are often the parents of millennials and Gen Z. Now, we are the first generation. You ready for this? And this goes back to why we keep our money in our pocket. We are the first generation to not be prepared for retirement. Yeah, we are less prepared for retirement than our parents. So when it comes to spending our money, we are not going to spend it on anything that does not give us some type of return, especially in our later years, because we don't know what the future holds. Check this out. For us, the only thing that is guaranteed is that we are going to have to supplement our income in retirement because the pension went away with the baby boomers. The 401ks, yeah, it's there, but guess what? We got into the game too late to put enough in. We will never be able to save enough money in a 401k to beat the rate of inflation. That's us. That's who you're talking about. So, when you are talking about joining organizations like the NAACP, when you start talking about various organizations like FMCA, NARVA, when you start talking about organizations that require a subscription, Good Sam and KOA, we are going to be very particular where we put our dollar, because if there is no return on our dollar, you ain't getting it. And that's just what it is. You done stopped meddling and gone to preaching.
So when you start talking about where we're going to put our money and how we organize specifically for recreation, most likely we are going to do something that is either A, going to be free to the pocket, and B, we're going to do something where there's going to be a lot more communication and transparency. So what you find us doing as millennials, instead of giving our money to organizations, we flock to social media because that is our organization. An organization is simply a group of people that come together for a common cause to create a common good or some type of common ground. Now, when it comes to things like Good Sam, we belong to Good Sam because we get good rates. They give us 10%. We belong to FMCA and other organizations because they give us something in return. Discounts on tires, discounts on other things, campgrounds, medical assist in the event that there is an issue, which for us may or may not be a selling point, but 20% off $350 and up tires, well, that sounds pretty good. So if your organization is not giving us anything, if it's not a collective agreement with anybody that can benefit, chances are we're not going to give you any money. Matter of fact, we probably won't even hang out with you. We'll catch you in passing, and then the next time we'll see you when we see you. And that's just how we roll.
You rolling, Keon, you rolling.
In other words, if you're not bringing nothing to the table that's going to put anything back in our pocket, like, we just not going to roll with you. It's not going to happen. If you're not doing anything that's going to be inclusive about what we like to do, we not going to roll with you. If you're not doing anything like talking our talk and helping us plan future and giving us a plan of salvation, so to speak, when it comes to retirement and those type of things, we ain't going to roll with you. We are only going to roll with you if there is some benefit to it. And if there's no benefit to it, or if it's going to end up costing us more because we forget about it or we let something lapse or anything like that, dude, we not going to do it. Millennials just ain't going to do it. That ain't how we were taught. That's not how we grew up. That's just not how we built. So you want to attract us, you got to meet us where we are, and you got to do the things that we're doing. And for God's sake, don't look down on us. Now, millennials, Generation X, we don't have the financial resources that our parents had. In other words, we weren't homeowners at 25. We did not have long lines of credit at 30. We didn't have 50% equity in our homes to buy motor homes. The ones of us that have that either had parents that helped us out, or we had unforeseen circumstances that allow us to have the capital to do that. Or we just simply single staved our money, and this is what we decided to do at this point in life. But we didn't have help. Not like that. And our jobs ain't paying us like that. Not like that. And if the truth be told, our parents ain't got the money. We taking care of them because that's just the way it is. You got to meet us where we at. Or like I said, we not gonna roll with you. That's just what it is. Change that narrative and you might get our participation. But if you don't, our connection to camping is going to be right there on Facebook. And that's what we going to do. And when you start naming, acronyms for other places, be it FMCA, Good Sam, Narva, anybody, we ain't rolling. Nope, we're not going to deal with it. You go to an FMCA rally right now, and I want you to count the people under 65. You probably can count them on one hand most of the time. And you can probably count the number of people that are under 65 that are black or of some other ethnicity other than white. I mean, we going to stick out like a sore thumb. It's just what it is. You got to meet us where we are. And if you don't do that, guess what? Like I say at the end of every cast, we out.
Yeah!